So in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 reasons why saving money will make you poor. Reason number 1 is banking is a business. No different than Apple or Amazon. It's a business. It's a financial services business. So how exactly do banks make money? The first way is, of course, they take your deposits, your hard-earned money from however you make it, and you put it into the bank. And they pay you, let's just say, 1%, but you guys all know it's much lower than that at the moment. So now your deposits are in the bank right here. And at this point, if you think about it, your money is actually a liability to the bank because they actually owe you 1%. So you're essentially loaning the bank money and they're paying you 1% or less for the right to have that money, and is an actual expense of the bank. So now that your money is an expense to the bank now has to lend that money out in the form of a loan to other people that are borrowing, and they are now the lender of your money. And let's say that they lend it out at, say, 5%. Now, I'm not that great at math, but I can tell you that if I get your money and give you 1% and I lend your money out at 5%, then I'm making now 4% on your money, not including fees and all the other things. So just remember that banking and the financial services industry is a massively big business, but they're taking your money and putting it to work and making money off of your money. Item number 2, inflation is a tax. Now, it's a hidden tax, but it's a tax. It's robbing you from your net worth. How exactly is inflation a tax on you? Again, you have your 1% of deposits that you earn on your money. So while your money is sitting in the bank, inflation in 2021 went to 6.8% in the United States. So the difference between 1% and 6.8% is 5.8% that you lost on your money in purchasing power for all of last year. So this is exactly why in Rich Dad Poor Dad says savers are losers, not because you're a loser, but because your deposits are losing money against inflation. So I thought what would be fun is for us to take a look at inflation over about 100 years. So on the left side here, we've got inflation over the years, and there's booms and busts, as you can see, as they're going to be in the future. But the green area is basically inflation, and the red is deflation. As you can see, we haven't had deflation for a very long time on this chart. On the right side here is the price of Campbell's tomato soup. And the reason I took this is because there's not very many products or services that have been around in the United States for over 100 years. And as you can see, for the longest time, it was right around 10 cents. And then when the dollar came off the gold standard, which was right around here, that's when we started to see all of this inflation. Now, I think actually the price of a can of soup is actually more than 85 cents, but this, of course, just went through 2020, and I thought it was a good reflection of where things are heading. The point of this chart is not, of course, that soup went up so much. The point of this chart is that from the 70s, if you were holding dollars, then your purchasing power went down because things got more expensive. Does that sound a little bit like what's going on today? Just remember that inflation is a tax. It's just very hidden. As things become more expensive and you hold dollars, you're going to be able to buy less. The third reason why saving money will make you poor is that your money is being diluted. So you guys should know by now that basic supply and demand is if there's too much of something, it's going to sell for less or be worth less. If there's not enough of something, there's going to be more of demand, and of course, it's going to go up in value. That's how the law of supply and demand works. Money is no different. So the Federal Reserve's job is to manage the economy, and one of the things that they do is to print money to be able to do that. So if you're holding money, then of course, your money could potentially be diluted. So now let's take a look at how the Fed increased the money supply. So this chart is the monetary base, the total monetary base. Now we're not going to get into a lot of detail about M1, M2, and M3, but you can go on this website and take a look for yourself and it'll explain everything. What I really want you to pay attention to is this gray area here, and this is a recession. And as you can see, what happened here is during this recession from the last housing crash that I went through, they started to print money to infuse now consumer spending into the economy, which worked and people did. Then it tapered off, as you can see, but then right around in here is when we had the pandemic and COVID hit. So that's when, of course, we started to really increase the money supply, and this is what everyone is blaming inflation on right here. This, and of course, additional government spending. But this is exactly what can happen. If you're holding dollars here, then of course, there's more dollars in the economy, more money supply. As shown by the government's own chart, they're increasing the monetary base. Whenever you increase supply of something, your money is diluted. So as you can see, as total assets go up and the total savings deposits go up here, then of course, because there's now more money in the economy, more monetary base from the last chart we just saw, the purchasing power has continued to go down of the consumer dollar. Those are your dollars. So if you're saving during this period of time, then your dollars are buying less. Once again, your money is being diluted.